Hi folks, it's Chris in Arena Recording Studio. Loads of people ask me every single week, what is my day like? Why do you really want to know? I don't know, but maybe it's something that people kind of see and look at in the music industry and think, how does a music producer or a guy who owns a recording studio and has done it all his life, how does he keep going and what's his journey entail and all this kind of stuff? Well, I've kind of broke down what's going on in the studio today. It's a Monday. Yesterday we had a kids party, of all things, a kids pop star recording party, which are absolutely brilliant fun. I must admit, I do really enjoy doing the kids parties. It's manic for 2 hours and they record a couple of songs and they go away extremely happy, which is great. And it kind of introduces the younger generation into the studio environment. So one of the reasons why I do it is it kind of brings in a regular income on these kind of things. Sometimes I've done 3-4 parties in a weekend, and sometimes I've done 3 or 4 parties in a month, depending on how it goes. So those are one of the things that are a kind of a bread and butter earner in the studio, really. And my wife comes in and she helps me with those, and it's good fun. And all the kids, like I say, go away with a big grin and a load of crisps and pop and cake and fizzy sodas, as they say in America, inside them, and they're all wired when they go home, and mum and dad have to go back and lie down and drink copious amounts of wine to recover. So those are the exciting pop star parties, which I only do on a weekend if I've not got any bands or anything booked in there. So I did one of those yesterday and it was great. Emily had a 9th birthday and it was fantastic. The next thing is today. So I kind of hit the ground running. Everywhere's a little bit of a mess still from the weekend, but I'll get over that during the course of the week. I'll kind of catch up with all those bits and bobs. But the first thing that I always do when I come into the studio, and I make sure that this is the #1 job, because I do a lot of session work and guitar playing work for people and a lot of tuition, I do 45 minutes of my time, my practice, my work on technique or anything that I feel as though is slipping a little bit, maybe a bit of theory-based stuff or learning a few licks and phrases that I've not played for a while, or a few songs, cover versions for people that are going to be using these on the lessons. But mostly it's my practice for anything that I'm working on for myself and technique wise, so it keeps the old fingers going, and I'll spend 45 minutes of that. I'll do that every single day, 4 days a week. That's what I do, is my technique practice, really. Anything else I'll kind of add on if I get a gap during the day. Then after that, I make a nice little cup of tea or a coffee, and I'll sit around and sort out all the messages, all the emails and the texts, and all this kind of stuff that comes through, from regular clients to new customers to people wanting more lessons and tuition and all this kind of stuff. I'll deal with all that then. Then I know that the basic jobs that I've, the fundamentals of the bread and butter of the studio are all in place, and the phone keeps ringing and all this kind of stuff. So then today, later on today, about 1 o'clock, I've got a guy coming in to do an hour's recording work. It's a little guitar session that we're just going to work on for an hour. So that's going to be in, that's all booked in. Then I've got a little bit of a break where I will probably check the social media. Could be more productive, or possibly even respond to a couple of replies from previous emails. Then I have Maggie that comes in a bit later on. Now, Maggie's an author and she's written several books and they've been published out there. And what she does is she comes in and then reads her book in, so it can be uploaded in audio. What is it they do, these audio book kind of things? She does all that. So we basically track the vocal, usually with a U87 or something similar, and a little bit of compression on the way in. And then I render the files to Maggie. Well, she's, once the whole book's been done on the audio process. Now that kind of can take weeks and weeks and weeks, because we kind of drip feed this. So Maggie comes in fortnightly and she does maybe 45 minutes to an hour, which is possibly 3 or 4 chapters. That's all we get done. Well, when you think of how many chapters are in a book, it can be a slow process, but she's quite happy with that because she has lots of other things that she deals with, as well as singing groups and all this kind of stuff. So she's a busy lady, and she's also dealing with all this publishing side of her books, and it keeps her busy. So it kind of works for Maggie to come in on this regular fortnightly basis on a Monday. And then after that, I've got booked in a 1 hour window for a voiceover documentary. It's a documentary series that's being produced. I'm not going to say too much about it, but I have to do the voiceover on it. Me. I'm not even a voiceover talent, but evidently I've got this Reet Northern accent that fits the bill, evidently, of this documentary that is being shot and edited and everything. So they want me to do the voiceover on it, and it's just pretty straightforward reading, really, with my natural northern accent voice. Accents are great, you know, never try and get rid of an accent. You should be proud of your accent, because it's like a unique thing to you. So I think that's one of the reasons why they've got me doing this little thing as well. So that's going to be done later. I reckon I can smash that in an hour. It's probably only couple of pages of reading, but I always like to give myself plenty of time to get settled in, get the mic set up. Well, being as the mic's set up for the voiceover, for Maggie, sorry, on the audio reading that she's going to be doing later, I'll be using the same setup basically. I'll just hit record on Pro Tools off the tablet because I have it rigged up wirelessly and I can monitor levels and things in the vocal booth. And then I'll read that and come in and see what we've got, and anything I'm not happy with, I'll just drop back in and redo. Then from about 4:30, it's tuition time today. Monday to Thursday, a kind of early evening, I like to get the lessons done and out of the way, and then that frees me up Friday, Saturday, Sunday for anything else like recordings, mixings. And I do put mixing jobs in during the course of the week, as you'll see when I update with tomorrow's video as well. So normally 4 o'clock I've got tuition in music production. I've got a few singers in today. I've got a couple of guitar players in as well, and that's going to be pretty good, ranging from 10 years of age up to possibly late 50s, round about there, are the students that are coming in today for a mixed bag of music production lessons, guitar lessons, and singing lessons and vocal coaching as well. So that's really what this day is all about. It's to give you an insight of how my revenue streams come in. It's being quite versatile where, again, when I look at what I've got, you know, obviously you've got to probably be reasonably computer literate to deal with social media and websites, dealing with your own websites, all this kind of stuff, messaging people. It'd be great if I had a PR that could do all that for me, but we're not at that level, I'm afraid, and never have been, so I have to keep doing all these jobs myself. The session work is great because I get so much input with the guitar, being a guitar player and played sessions for donkey's years, really, maybe 40 years I've done that kind of work. It's great that I can kind of advise the guys that come in the best amp sounds for their guitars and the job that they're working on, you know, what sort of production skills are required on it. So that's where that experience comes in. The next thing is the voiceover. It's just having a big mouth, really, and being able to just talk in front of a microphone is probably all that's needed for that, for this job for them. And they're quite happy with my accent and the tone and inflection in my local Northwich based voice. So again, it's me, really. Again, it comes down to the audio book is all about Maggie, and then the sessions are all the lessons and sessions like that are all built purely on my experiences of recording, touring, performing, writing, producing. It's all down to me. So I suppose, and I don't mean that in an arrogant way, it's just purely down to the fact that the studio moves forward with so many different revenue streams because I've been in the industry for so long, I think, and it's just a point in my life where I'm trying to put all this stuff back out to all the people that are coming through. It's your turn, it's your generations that are kind of grabbing all this information now, and making progress for your musical careers as well. So that's what's happening today, which is Monday the 8th of September 2024 in Arena Recording Studio. I'm not sure whether it's of any use to anybody, but so many people keep telling me, just put a daily vlog on of what's going on in the studio and explain how your day is filled with time. So it's now 11:15 and I shall be starting the 45 minutes of practice in about 2 minutes time. I'm just going to make a cup of tea and then I shall be finishing tonight at 8:15. So that's the day. So it's not a bad day. Sometimes it's earlier and sometimes it's a later finish depending on what's booked in. But you'll see as the week unfolds how my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is going to go. And I'll keep you updated with the production and all this kind of stuff as the week goes by, and any mixing jobs that come in, I'll explain what's going with all that. So you're going to get an insight into a real spit and sawdust recording studio and how my day goes, because I do believe, you know, that when I watch a lot of YouTube videos, I think some of these guys really aren't, dare I say, working as much as they possibly would like in their studios, hence why a lot of guys do courses and a lot of YouTube work and reviews and all this. So I'm not convinced from my daily goings on, how I struggle to get content out there because I'm busy, that they are actually doing a full-time music producer or recording studio kind of job. Okay, so that's just my take on that. I could be wrong, I don't know, but it's just going to give you a little bit of an insight into my daily goings on. Catch you later. Hopefully there'll be some use to people in this video. If you want to comment, please comment. Ask me anything about my day, what goes on, who I work with, how I work, what sort of steps I use when I'm recording anything. You know, it's my job is to give that information out there for the next generation. I'm one of these that I really think people should have access to all this information. And if there's something that I know and I can pass on and it helps you, fantastic. If I don't know the answer, I'll hold my hands up and say, it's above my pay grade, man. Okay, all right, so I'll speak to you tomorrow. As always, stay safe, stay well, and keep on rocking in the free world.